Let's talk about breasts, baby.
Let's talk about... I'm hyping you.
You and me. Let's talk about
all the good things and the bad things that
we went through. Let's talk about breasts.
Breastfeeding for me, it was the hardest thing.
I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be easy.
I did not know what I was doing.
How many times the nurses come to press your boobs? 5 million nurses coming. I just walk like this in my hospital gown. It was ever wet.
I was told I don't know how to breastfeed my child and I should do it like Kadzo.
People saying things like breastfed babies are smarter, like they reach milestones a lot faster. And I'm like...
The thing that people don't know is, you know, milk doesn't start white.
The amount that I was producing was not enough to feed 2 of my kids. I wish these are things I knew.
I put this baby on my breast. Wow. I started crying.
She got the light in her life. Her love never fails. She lives to walk right. And through her trials, so much grace. So much grace. So much grace. So much grace.
Hi guys, welcome to today's episode. I'm so excited for you guys to watch us today. Today is a very, very exciting episode. We're gonna be talking about our breastfeeding journeys. So let us do a small intro if you don't already know us. So my name is Vasho.
My name is Kadzo.
And I'm Charlene.
Yeah, and this episode is sponsored by drumroll.
Peekaboo!
I have a question. What are you guys grateful for? One thing you're grateful for?
I'm really, really, really grateful for coffee.
You're grateful for coffee?
For the journey, this road, it's just helped me. There are days I'm like, you know what? Coffee, my love.
That's funny. There's a video I watched on Instagram where I think it said something like, I don't need to have coffee, but the people around me need me to have coffee.
That's true. But you know, you guys, I never used to take coffee until I met you guys.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I told you, like, I never used to drink coffee, you guys looked at me like I was having
Like
a
a
muscle.
We're like,
woman.
wow,
Yeah.
your life, you're
like
so
me, I'm those ones who I drink coffee and then nalala, like zero effect. Caffeine.
My
I don't
friend.
think
What?
caffeine has effect on me.
Should we brew for you? That one.
To get you some
brew
legit
for-
Ethiopian coffee.
I know that thing was strong.
Where?
I've smelt it, no.
You're like, I don't want it.
No.
Me, I'm addicted to coffee. It's so bad.
Me too.
I can't,
Yeah.
like, imefika hiyo. You know how so my mom,
Yeah.
if kama hajakunywa chai, she gets a headache. So for me, if I don't drink coffee, I don't get a headache, but I feel like I'm not...
You're not 100%.
Yeah, it kind of gives me a boost, which I'm like,
you're
that's caffeine.
Are you addicted to caffeine?
Yes.
No. You're
I
addicted
can
to
go without
caffeine.
coffee, but
I am.
But you
I
don't
don't
want.
want.
Charlene, what are you grateful for?
Okay, don't know. What am I grateful for? I feel like if I answer that, I'll just say a vague answer, but I don't know.
Good friends, maybe.
You're not grateful for us?
I am.
For your husband?
I am.
For your kids?
I am.
Yeah.
I guess my husband, my kids, and my friends. And the success of the podcast.
Yeah.
My husband whispers behind me.
I wish you guys could
Okay.
see. Yeah.
This is for real.
Yeah.
I'm actually really grateful for the fact that we got nominated.
Oh, yeah.
Our podcast got nominated.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's a
I
big
found
one.
it.
Yeah.
I found it.
You
I
found it.
I'm grateful for you guys and my family, but I don't know. I just want
That one hits different.
yeah.
You see all the sacrifice. At least it's reached
big.
somewhere.
I remember there's a friend of mine who was saying how she loves the podcast, and I just told her, I think everyone who says they love the podcast, I say this is a labor of love.
Yeah,
like it's actually
it really
a labor.
is.
Actually,
A labor
thank
of
you.
love.
Honestly, the
Yeah.
comments, if you see comments replies at like 1, 2 a.m.
That's you.
That's me.
But then why do you sleep so late?
I don't know. Because my child,
Okay.
by the time he slept at like what he decides sleep at 10, 10:30, 11, and I'm just like, okay, I just need to wind down. So I'm like, oh, let me see if anyone has commented. Then you see, oh, I've been praying for this. I'm like, oh my God. Those are the things that give me the energy to sleep.
Yeah. I think for me, like what I'm grateful for in terms of the podcast is just a response that people are getting. Like I remember like the episode where we were all just bawling our eyes. Like how everyone was saying how...
Oh my gosh, I cried.
How everyone cried, how people were so emotional. Like there are people who DM'd me and they're like, I actually didn't know I was going through this. Especially, I think the sensitive bit is the one with friendships.
Yeah.
And basically relationships. So I'm honestly, guys, we're really grateful that you feel what we feel.
We feel the love, we feel the support, and our community is growing, and it's awesome that so many people feel safe to, you know, comment and share, you know, this labor of love.
Yes. So are you ready for today's episode?
Yes. So today's episode is really cool because I told this girl I have a song. And actually,
sign, baby girl, sign.
I was really practicing it in my head. So like, there's no pressure to like it, but you know,
but
there's no pressure.
You have
no. I'm not. Imba vizuri.
Oh, she can sing.
Yeah, you don't know.
Listen,
nimesikia Kadzo akiimba lini. So she comes in and starts.
Do you know? Wait. You actually
can sing.
Yeah. You don't know we have a song on we actually have a song like me, Eddie, Kadzo, and Rob.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen,
can you
guys listen?
We'll send you a link to the song.
No, we won't.
Yes, we will.
So today, the song for today. Let's talk about breast, baby.
Let's talk about. I'm hyping you.
You and me. Let's talk about
all the good things and the bad things that
we went through.
Let's talk about breasts. Listen, the lyrics went, but they were there in my head. And it was so nice. It was so epic.
And then when we talk about sex, we're still using the same song.
We're still going to use the same song. So that's what we're talking about. Boobies and our breastfeeding journey.
Our outfits are sponsored by boobies.
No, their outfits are sponsored by boobies.
Mami, nyonyo. Maybe it's stopped breastfeeding. What is this breastfeeding?
A round of applause.
And then he's like, yummy. So I've been telling him, Nyonyo is now for babies like Ketura. So yesterday he came, Nyonyo Ketura? No? I'm like, yeah, this is not me and you are sure.
Yeah.
Yummy.
The innocent.
I love that so much.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
All right, what about boobies?
I think
it's funny
how I think, okay, so if you went back, like what would you tell, like how was your journey, and what would you tell yourself back then? Me, can I just start?
And
although
I have a confession.
Let me just tell you something.
Start and then I'll confess.
Although I've already told them.
Yeah.
But Nyinyi, you friends of mine who went.
Yes, before us.
Breastfeeding make it look so glamorous. I remember calling my friend Stella. I'm like, first of all, I hate you. Why did you not tell me this? It's one painful. She's like, oh, El, you too. Where? I'm like,
now you
this
know.
whole time.
Yeah, for real though.
But you know, I actually did the same thing. Like I remember I went to, so we have a mom's group in our community, like where we fellowship. Then I remember I was so frustrated because of how painful, like the nipple pain and everything. I went and wrote, I'm like, guys, why didn't you tell me? Like I remember I sent that message and I was just like, I actually wish I knew like how it's not okay. What for me I got is it's not as easy as people make it seem.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not even people. Let me say, it's not as easy as our moms have made it seem, because they're just like, oh, ukitoka ukiingia hospitali mtoto akizaliwa unanyonyesha mtoto straight. You know, like I have seen it, so I thought it was like very easy.
Just put a baby and they
just put a baby and they just latch and everything. And for me, that it was so mind-boggling. I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be easy. And then for me, what was, I have so many thoughts coming in my mind, like about things to say. So one is, you see this notion. So you see this, I know you guys, since we've all had CS, there's this notion that when you get a baby through via C-section, it's not like milk doesn't come automatically. But that thing is a lie. It actually, for some people it comes automatically, and for some people that it doesn't come automatically. Like for me, I remember immediately, like now when I had nilikuwa nimerudi back, revived the back to life. So when they brought my son, baby number one. I like immediately, like I had milk, and I was so grateful. I actually had milk. But now the thing that people don't know is, you know, milk doesn't start white. That's the thing that people don't know. Like immediately when you give birth, glucose, water. Water. That water is the beginning of milk. That's the beginning of colostrum. So when you'll press your boobs and you'll see like liquid, that's actually the beginning of milk. Now, what people think is that, like, it's going to be white immediately. No, like, milk has to mature, and things like that. So, for me, I think it's that notion that every time you have a C-section, that people actually have that narrative that milk won't come immediately. Because for me, that was one of my biggest prayers. Because I'd had it so many times. I had seen it in the hospitals. And
but how does that, sorry to cut you off, but where did that notion stem from? Why would a C-section affect the production of milk?
You haven't, milk is, it's more oxytocin. Oxytocin is a hormone that helps with giving, with labor and delivery. And it also, it's what signals your body that milk to start coming out.
The baby is coming out.
Yeah, the baby is coming out and milk is coming out. So the fact that you haven't had labor, that's now the narrative that it's true for some people, but it's also not true for some people. So that narrative that because sijapitia labor na vitu kama hizo, getting that milk wouldn't be so easy.
A part of me also disagrees with it more. I'm leaning more towards disagreeing with that notion because it's like once that baby is outside of your body recognizes that there is no longer exactly. So your body automatically know, like I feel like your body knows, okay, Kenya ilikuwa hapa ndani haiko anymore. So I don't know. It's a hit and miss for me, but I'm leaning more towards I don't know. I don't know. But we'll see.
If you've had a different experience.
No, mine was such an interesting. So, I tried breastfeeding twins. You guys, looking back, I just want to cry because I was the pressure. I felt so much pressure. So with me, so I gave birth in the US, and immediately my kids were given like formula. They're too small to bottles. So there's a nurse, I think, came in, or breastfeeding someone who came in.
Lactation expert.
I guess.
Lactation
specialist. And she fingered she told me to finger my boobs so that the colostrum can come out and the liquid was there. And then she told me the importance of that. If ikitokata kidogo aje, I try and give it to the kids. So that's what I kept doing, but it was so painful. Like, I'm fingering my boobs so that this thing comes out. And then, but my milk didn't come immediately. It took me about maybe 3 weeks even, but my milk did not come immediately. It did not. So I tried the whole latching on, like put the baby to latch so my hormones can be, I don't know, ignited. And then I tried pumping, and I was just, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I did not know what I was doing. All I knew was, okay, I need to latch a baby or I need to pump. So I can start, stimulating the... So eventually it did come, but ikanza could decrease at some point because I was so stressed out. I was so stressed out because it's like the amount that I was producing was not enough to feed 2 of my kids. And they both kept waking up every 2-3 hours in the middle of the night. So I have to make sure, like, atakama nime pump, I don't know, 8 ounces or whatever that is.
8 ounces. How many ml?
May I just remember the ounce.
8 ounces.
I don't know it in ml actually. I really don't.
Maybe
because I remember.
Ilikuwa inakaa mingi ama kidogo.
Kwenda.
Listen, ilikuwa katikati.
So katikati 100, 100.
But that's not enough for 2 babies.
Yeah, that's not enough for 2 kids.
So I started 60 ml.
Maybe
no,
60 ni kidogo.
See that
in a
pack is normally wait, no, it's 250.
Yeah.
So maybe half of that. So maybe 1 something.
I just knew it wasn't enough for 2 babies.
100.
I don't know. But long story short, I tried pumping. I gave those 2-3 months were hard because my kids are waking up every 2-3 hours, and I would probably, like, when they wake up, I would give them the bottle, and then I would try and pump again as they are on the bottle to make sure I have enough for the next time they wake up. But it still wasn't enough. So Gabe and I decided, manze, mi silali, and these kids are waking up. I am a zombie and I'm tired. So we decided to do formula. So what ended up working for my family was doing both. Breastfeeding and formula. So I just had to create a timetable where in the morning, or if they wake up in the middle of the night, they drink formula and or at least washibe. My notion was washibe walale.
Formula is you sleep, like kids sleep longer.
I don't know how true that. I mean, my kids did not sleep.
Okay.
But also,
it did help. It did really help. I won't say it didn't. So in the middle of the night, they would drink formula. Asubuhi, wakiamka 7 a.m., they drink milk, breast milk. So we tried to balance it like that. And there were times where they would reject one or the other because they could taste the difference. But eventually they got used to it. We just had to keep pressing and pushing. But breastfeeding for me, it was the hardest thing. I'm not going to lie. Like I tried breastfeeding pekeake. I tried even getting a specialist who could teach me how to breastfeed twins. Like I had a big pillow and I put both here, one here. And I'm just like, this hurts, and I'm feeling, I feel like when you're breastfeeding, like the milk, there's a nerve or something. It felt weird. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this feeling. I do not like it. But yeah, breastfeeding for me was a journey but what I decided to do, thanks to my husband, was being okay with, because I felt like a failure. Like, because I'm not breastfeeding I'm not breastfeeding my kids peke, na feel as if I've failed my children. So I had a lot of things I had to unlearn, a lot of notions I had to unlearn, and know that my kids are fed, they're healthy, and we're figuring out how to do both. And it's working because we had to figure out bottles that work for both of them. And slowly but surely, I can see after 8 months, we finally found our groove. We found our groove.
And that's like after 8 months.
Yeah.
That's a long
it's a long time. It's a long time.
It's a long time.
I wish it was easy, but it wasn't.
I think for me, the first with my firstborn, the first few months, as I said, the thing that for me was a struggle was the nipple pain. So advantageous thing is that I think I knew how to latch, because Kalel latched easily, like he latched well. Like I remember even the following day, like you know how now the lactation specialist normally come just to try and help you and stuff like that. Like she saw me holding him and she's like, "Hi, are you a first time mom? You look like you know what you're doing." So so the latching bit wasn't an issue. Was he latched very well. But now the nipple pain and the nipples cracking for me was just like, I can't. I remember there's a day I was in the house sitting, and it was this one was the one that had a lot of pain. And it's the one that, you know how like one breast has more milk. This is the one that
thing was so annoying.
More milk. And it's so now I didn't know that, or rather someone had told me, like, when your nipple is cracked, I pump from this one and then I leave it to heal.
Yeah.
And then now I feed from the other one. But now I was so scared
because of the pain.
Because of the pain. Yeah. And then I was so scared that if I give you a bottle then like there'll be that whole aspect of nipple confusion. For me, that was like, I was really stressed about that. So you know what I said?
Yeah.
So I remember there's a day I put this baby on my breast. Wow. I started crying. Like literal tears, because it was so painful. And I kept on telling myself, you know, you're doing the right thing. So, you know, those things you read online, you should expose your nipple, apply nipple cream and all that. It would help, but I don't think it really helped. Yeah. But for me, there was one friend of mine who really, really encouraged me, because she told me her nipples ached until like even 6 months. So I was encouraged, because I used to look for like articles online.
Yeah.
They're saying if your nipple is hurting, it's because you're not latching your baby well. And I used to do everything, you know, like I do the things that you're supposed to do to latch a baby. I had downloaded all those images, watched all those videos on YouTube how to latch a baby. But then I realized actually it actually takes time. So I think the nipple pain with my firstborn stopped when I was around 5 months actually.
Yeah.
I think if I have selective amnesia, I can't remember.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think that nipple pain and the nipples cracking were shocker for me.
Yeah.
But now the interesting thing is that it actually doesn't happen to everyone.
No.
Not everyone goes through the nipple cracking. Not everyone does that. Like
I personally didn't go through that.
I don't know if I had. Did I have
I
cracked
didn't.
nipples?
Yeah, you did.
You see, I can't really remember.
Yeah.
I was in so much pain. I think for me, I was in pain because one, I was pumping all the time.
Yeah.
You were pumping all the time.
Because Tando took a while to. I think he started breastfeeding after hospital. So he was born, was in hospital 2 weeks, and then I tried breastfeeding him after, because I could not have those nurses telling me, oh, you are latch, atenda nyumbani. I'm like, listen, let me just figure out the bottle, the rest we'll do at home.
Yeah.
And I think for me, one of the things, other than obviously there was a pain in breastfeeding, and the pain that comes with your uterus contracting, because that's the other
that one I felt,
because they don't tell you that as you breastfeed,
you'll have
your uterus will contract because it's going back. Luckily, I think my doctor had mentioned it when he came to check. I thank God I didn't go through these experiences for 5 million nurses coming. Because I don't know, I kept on hearing, like my friends told me, how many times the nurses come to press your boobs? I'm like, my doctor just did it once.
Can we not? What?
Oh, okay, so let me be devil's advocate, because I have actually done it for moms.
How many times?
Okay, well, now what I would do is like in the...
Would they ask for it?
No. You see, not that they ask for it. Like if you're doing rounds in the hospital in the early morning. So now, like in the maternity ward, you have to, it's part of what, like, your report. You see how doctors do rounds, like you see in movies, like you have to report patient X, like, so for a mother in the maternity ward, you have to report if the baby is breastfeeding or not.
But it has to be so many times.
Okay, no, it doesn't have to be so many times.
Me, I'm speaking for the mothers who went through many times.
Yeah, it's
me and a good doctor. He came, he's like, huyu mazoe jaingia, because like Tando was born at 12, yeah? So at like, I think he checked, I don't know, I didn't know, time just went, whatever time he came.
Yeah.
He came, checked, there's no milk, he gave me dawa. And then, from then on, the next morning.
Yeah. Because now for especially now for moms who've gone through CS, like you have to report is a baby breastfeeding or not. Because even if the child is not breastfeeding, that's also another problem. So what you do is, like I'd go to moms and they'd say, like I asked the mom, uko na maziwa? She says no. So I asked her, can I please? Okay, I don't know if I said please. I can't remember. Say, can
I check?
No, like, neza kusaidia. So what you do, and that's what I was saying. Like when you stimulate someone's nipples, like you press it so that when you see because that thing for when you see like a fluid. That's what people don't know. People think, that's what I was saying. People think like when you see whitish, that's when it's milk. No, but when you see a fluid, because you press moms and you're like, there's milk here. This is milk. Okay. Like, this is what milk does. So the reason why nurses do it is because it's like you have to report. Like, it's a big thing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But I'm sorry for the ones who...
I was just checked. My doctor, the next day he came, he's like, can I check? He checked. I'm like...
Yeah. I don't know.
You know, mothers go through, you're just being touched down there,
it's true. It's everywhere. And especially if you're not in like if you're in like a public hospital, you'll expect that. Like you'll expect.
But like, are you able to say no? Okay, so here's my thing. Because a part of me is like,
I don't know.
So okay, me I didn't give birth here, but in my head I'm like, me nilifinywa. I don't know if after the CS, me nilifinywa tumbo. Like I don't know, to make sure that all the blood was coming out. Nothing was really, really painful.
Okay.
So I can't imagine nafinywa tumbo like alafu nafinywa matiti. Because I could not stand the pain. The pain of my, like, you just had a C-section. You're still in hospital. I don't know, something to do with blood.
You're encouraged to pee.
I don't know.
Okay, no, for moms, like for the ones who've done natural birth,
I understand.
You actually encourage, like when you go pee, you're supposed to press your stomach so that you ensure all the clots and blood that everything is
but
out.
you did a CS.
But with CS,
so they should have clean.
No, that was actually painful.
It was because I cried. It was extremely.
Yeah, that's extremely painful.
No amount of morphine would have helped that pain, because it was just
because you have a scar.
From my understanding from my doctor,
I don't know why. I'm a first time mom. I didn't know what I was doing. But
from my understanding from my doctor, it was after they do the CS, they actually just clean or whatever.
Yeah, once they remove, once you remove the placenta, you're supposed to ensure like all the clothes are out. Yeah.
Maybe they didn't do that with me. I gave birth in a different country. I don't know if they had different regulations, stipulations with things like this. I do not know.
No, but that one of
that was really... So that's why a part of me is like, guy, unafinywa matiti. Because in my head, I still remember the pain of it. So I cannot imagine being someone is coming to press my boobs at the same time my stomach is being sitting. That's why I feel so like, can you say no to that? Because if I knew my doctor would come and do that to my stomach, I would have said no. But she said it was along the lines of making sure all the clots are out and whatnot. But when it came to breastfeeding for me, Manze, I tried everything because I didn't know what would work. Like I tried the whole pump your boobs silly. I tried latching. I feel like I tried everything.
I think for me, I know my milk didn't come in that day. I think mine came in the next day, or it was kidogo. I don't know. So because they gave him formula which he didn't like, so it spit it out. And then I think the next day is when in the morning I took the other dose of dawa, and then now a bit of milk started coming out. And then obviously after being shamed about my milk, I said,
How did you guys handle that?
I cried. I cried by myself in the shower. I didn't even tell my husband. I just cried because I was feeling so bad. I'm like, surely, first of all, my child can't even, like, he couldn't.
Your child is barely
9 months.
Your child Toshi,
he was so tiny. Alafu anakatu ghost. He was so white on veins. I'm just like, guy. He was this close to you seeing everything going down. So, and I don't know. Did I borrow your pump? I didn't have anything. I think I borrowed her hand pump.
Yeah.
And then that's when I started feeling the contractions. And if you've had a CS, just be strong. It's very painful.
I think it's painful.
Yeah,
it's very painful. So we did that. And then my milk started coming in. Little did I know, from there, the next stage was going to be engorgement.
Yeah.
I was engorged. Ever. Like, mine became so bad. I don't know what happened, but I was ever engorged.
Yeah.
I was engorged for 3 months. For over 3 months, because now you see what would happen is because I'd have to pump.
Yeah. And the more you pump, the more your body,
because your body's like, more milk.
More milk.
So even it was so there was that thing, and then I didn't realize also back then that when you get a pump, they're different. They're called funnel.
Flannel.
Is it funnel?
It's flannel ni kitamba.
Funnel. So there are different sizes for different boobs.
Yeah.
But sasa hapa, Mali, I think when we let me say when I was in that journey, then the options were not there. So the size that you get is the size that you have.
No, but also even the reason why the options are not there, because breast pumps are expensive.
Breast pumps are so expensive.
So here's the thing. Okay, so Malisa and then else.
Yeah.
So by the time I realized also I've been using the wrong size. So now I remember I did have cracked nipples.
You did.
Because of the pumping. It was red and I'm just there. Only now is when I realized, by the way, when you have engorgement, you can use cabbages. Because that's
or even a warm cloth.
Or a warm cloth. But like I used I didn't know that. And then squeezy there are those
the hacker.
Leave that one. There are those things like ile ya tumbo ukiko na cramps.
Oh, like the warmers,
heated bean bags. Yeah, bean bags. I think I've seen I think Haka have one.
Yeah, you put that heated thing so that it reduces.
It reduces that, and then there's also there are now those two gel things that you can put in the freezer, and then.
Oh yeah, I've seen those ones as well.
Back then, I think I saw them, but I saw them on Amazon, and then also they were so expensive.
Yeah, these things are so expensive.
So I had engorgement, and then now I had oversupply.
Oh yeah, you had
oversupply. Yani, I just walk like this in my hospital gown. It was ever wet.
Wow.
I think you guys need to see. There's that photo I have of your fridge. I'll find that photo. We need to insert that photo here. You should see Kadzo's fridge.
It was bad.
The whole freezer was just full of milk.
It was so bad.
Milk. She was I call her, she was the KCC.
It was so bad.
Our KCC was this one.
So bad. I think I was even happy when Tando figured out latching.
Yeah.
Another thing they don't, you see how when we're learning about latching, they say, the whole dark part of the nipple should be in the baby's mouth. What I'm going to say is, your baby will decide. Because what I realized is Tando's mouth was so small. It was so tiny. Now imagine someone's, let's say, the mouth, the size of a strawberry like this, and then you're trying to put an apple. Surely. Because we've been told the whole nipple should fit. And
it's the nipple and the part of
areola.
The part of the areola.
So not the whole areola.
So not the whole areola.
They say 3/4 of it.
But there are some kids, okay.
What I realized with Tando is when he was starting, it could just be a really small.
He was small,
as he became bigger, the more of the areola he would take. So I think that's something that other moms should know. Based on your child's mouth. Maybe you're born with a, So it's you and your child to figure it out.
I wish these are things I knew, to be like, don't get me wrong. I think there was a lot of resources like YouTube or things like that. But for some reason, I just felt like I was figuring it out myself.
Yeah.
For some odd reason. I was just, like, I tried Googling and asked, like, researching certain things that might help with milk production. Because me, I struggled with milk production.
Yeah.
And I wish I had more milk for my kids. But at the same, actually, if I had more milk, probably I wouldn't have substituted with formula.
Yeah.
Because I've seen
but also your mental state.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
it was.
That's a major factor.
It was, and you know, the funny thing, the thing that caused me the most stress wasn't even the actual breastfeeding. It was the pressure that I felt that I needed to make sure my kids specifically breastfed.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I think God created women in a way that allows, like, if God blesses you with a child, he would, I don't know, he's just created our bodies in a way that allows us to provide for the same children that he has given us. So I think that, and I've had natural is best so many times. And there's truth in it. I'm not denying it. There's truth in it. But the pressure that I felt to always make sure I pump, make sure I breastfeed, make sure my child does not go a day without, I didn't discourage her from using formula. And it was the hardest part of breastfeeding for me was the pressure.
Where do you think that pressure comes from?
Isn't it like family? And the closest, most of the pressure comes from the closest. Because I remember
family.
There was a time I came home and my mom was like, no, this is how you should do it, you know, because back when she was having me, they used to do this.
Yes.
Like this.
And they didn't have kinama pumps. Kinama sudri, you put what machine to help. They didn't have that.
So she's like, no, you should put your fingers like this. But then now the method has changed. I tell you where you cup like this. Maybe in the next 10 years, I don't know what it will be. But and I think with that, I'm like, no, me, I was told it's like this. But in hindsight, when I think about it, even how I reacted I probably didn't react the best because you feel attacked. And here you are trying to figure out this new life with these new peoples for you, a new person for me. And there's that outside voice.
It was so hard. It's
like
so stressful. Because I don't know. If only, I really miss breastfeeding. Like, if there's something I really miss about my kids being babies, is breastfeeding, because I would have done a lot of things differently. Like, the biggest thing would be try as hard as you can, try as much as you can to provide breast milk for my kids. But usijeke your pressure. Because guys, when I tell you, like, I probably, maybe for 3 months straight, I probably slept for 2-3 hours at night. Unless my kids slept during the day and my husband would take them, so at least I can go 4 hours or something. But usiku, wanaamka, and I give Gabe the bottle, I put one on my boobs, hashibi, and then I try to put, like, the milk that I stashed in the freezer in the bottle to feed the one that I have, and then that would work. This is before we decided, okay, let's do formula. But it was the pressure of, I just felt like a bad mom. I really felt like a bad mom because I'm not breastfeeding. And because I'm thinking of formula, it felt like you've given up. You've not tried hard enough. That was the thing that really made me feel like nimejiwekea pressure mob.
And that's the thing. If you, from my experience, I learned that the days that I was super stressed, the day that I didn't sleep well, my milk supply will go down. And that's the thing with the milk supply.
And that's what happened with me.
How you are mentally, emotionally, physically will affect your milk. And if you had someone who's like, if you're around people who are like, you know what? Do what you can today. If you want to breastfeed, if you feel like you can breastfeed, it's fine. If you feel like you can't, it's fine.
Say nilitumiwa nini unga ya sijui millet, sijui what.
Ndio kwena maziwa. And I think
this is all the way to the US. You know how much shipping costs.
I think that the pressure of, like, also doing like breastfeeding. I think even me, I was ashamed. Like, you remember that day? I was told I don't know how to breastfeed my child and I should do it like Kadzo. that thing hurt. I cried. I cried that day. To the car, I cried. I was like, I'm trying to do my best. Yeah. But it doesn't seem like it's best. And like even that story for deciding whether to breastfeed or not. Like I remember we have a friend that her like immediately she gave birth, she got sick. And then now her trying to get milk. Like she was, and God, yes, but it was so stressful. So I remember that day she was so stressed. Like we both, Kazu and I, went to help her. But we told her, you know what? Like breast is best, but also fed is best.
Yeah.
Like breast is working good. For what you. What is working for you
and your child.
Fed is best. And do you know, like you can't tell the difference between a breastfed baby and a formula-fed baby. You honestly cannot.
I've also had myths of people saying things like breastfed babies are smarter, like they reach milestones a lot faster. And I'm like, I don't think that's true, because I think of my own kids' milestones, and they achieved certain milestones a lot faster. And I'm like, that's not accurate.
Like even me, I questioned myself. I remember there's a day when my husband, like, because I stopped breastfeeding Kalel, like when I found out I was pregnant with Kedura. So now I remember there's a day we were talking with Robin's like, it's because Kalel isn't talking as much. Is it because we didn't breastfeed him longer? And I was just like, I don't know. And that time Kazu was still breastfeeding.
Me, so I was just breastfed until he was 2 and something. And he was saying, this is too much.
Otaki kwenda place mtu yako.
No. And then they just take it out.
Yeah. So I think it's a decision, like, whatever is comfortable for you, by the way. Like, if you decide to breastfeed, well and good. If you decide to not, it's fine. And yes, there are very wonderful, like, benefits for breastfeeding. Like, very, very important benefits for that. But if for you, it's also causing a lot of emotional turmoil, then imagine it's okay. Yeah. Like, it's honestly fine. Yeah.
And I think there's also a lot of science that has gone behind formulating formula for kids. Yeah. Like, it's not just that Imsea may decide to make some powder in their house. Like, there's a lot of things that scientists have done to actually make sure that to actually try their best to mimic breast milk. And I use mimic. So it's one of those things where it's like, unajipatia pressure ya nini? Like, if you're waking, this is a newborn. If you're waking, a newborn doesn't sleep throughout the night. You know,
they're not supposed to sleep throughout the night.
And you're going to be so tired. If breastfeeding is what, makes you and your child and your family happy, go ahead. But me, I've learned from the pressure from society that I even put on myself, because I believed notions that were just false.
Yeah. And then there are also people who, I think I don't know. There are people who just... I met a lady in Hosi, and she... the waiting area for breastfeeding and pumping in the NICU. And the mama just came and sat. So, she was just looking so awkward on her phone. So we're like, oh, is your baby? I was like, yeah, I just came to see the baby. Say, oh, okay. So another mom just asked her, so are you like breastfeeding? I was like, no, I'm not spoiling my breasts. I know it's I was just for me I was like, okay. But I realized, I think with that conversation, and even talking different moms, you're like, there are women who had loved breastfeeding. Me, I enjoyed it. It was bonding time. I got to look at my child, all these things. And also my child loved breastfeeding. And then there are women who just don't. It's like how there are women who love being pregnant, and then there are those ones who don't. Yeah, and it's the same like as people. There are women who opt to do CS direct instead of like going through labor and all that. And it's just dependent, like what works for you. Yeah. And like, I think when I saw that mom, I was like, someone can easily judge her. But for her, she has chosen her struggle. And she said, listen, I've birthed this child, and that's that. That's that. I don't feel like, I don't want to breastfeed. I don't want. And if that's what works for her and her family. You've mentioned like what you loved about breastfeeding is like the bonding time. I love the bonding time. after we figured out latching and got over the engorgement, I think it was easier for me because, because even the pumping, I changed my pump. Once I got a automatic pump, mine was, so you can see the brands. We said, I got a Spectra and it wasn't as painful. And then I got those pumping bras, and honestly, it saved me. Because now my hand wasn't like this. I could be on my phone doing whatever I'm doing as a baby sleeps, so I pump, and it made sense. But I really loved the bonding that my son and I did. And
what are some of, you mentioned products, what were some of the products that
some of my favorite products? Let me tell you, there's some, if I may save myself, there are some breast pads that are out there, please.
That are.
I tried the washable ones, and I don't know, maybe they work for some people, but for me,
it didn't work.
But what about it didn't work?
Kanzo used to leak.
I used to leak.
What?
So you had to put like something bigger, or?
So now, I don't understand why they don't know. Because for me, I need something that will hold the extra milk. So I can say for me, myself, there are two brands that worked. For me, the Mamizi ones and the Medela. My number one was Medela because I didn't have to change. Mamizi, sometimes I had to wear two.
Like two breast
at the same time.
Yeah, but you are, that's okay.
Because if I don't wear a breast pump and then I'm just walking, you just feel it.
You don't wear breast pump, breast pads.
Breast pad.
Yeah.
You're just walking, you feel that let down, and you're like, oh gosh, Ama, you bend like this. Like that's how bad it was for me. I'd bend like this, I just feel a gush of milk.
So you had to bring, you're one of those moms who had to bring a change of outfits.
Yeah, I never used to leave the house.
Okay.
Because I'm like, now, ntabeba nguo ngapi. So once I figured the Medela ones, I was happy. But then they were expensive.
Yeah,
they're very expensive.
Because for a box of what? I don't know. It was like 2,100 for like 30 or 20.
Yeah.
And that's not going to last me a month because I'd use about 3 or 4 a day.
Oof. That's a lot.
That's a lot. So what I would do is I'd breastfeed, and I got a hacker. So when I'm breastfeeding on this side, I put the hacker here.
Yeah.
And guess how much I'd collect? Like 120 ml.
From just the...
just let down.
Just a let down.
Imagine.
Wow.
Mikazo was my pumping inspiration.
It was so much.
Wait, did you think about giving...
I gave out milk.
She donated milk.
I donated milk and I still had more. It reached a point I used to call people. I'm like, hi, do you need milk?
Yeah.
Wow.
She donated milk.
I donated a lot of milk.
By the way,
used to donate like 5 bags. Me and my 1 bag were that's the shika. My 1 or 2 bags shika. Shika.
It's a hard behind it. But it was so much. So once I figured, I tried getting I know there's this brand that had the cups, which you just attach to a bra. But then
the
now,
milk collectors.
But then now it will look like, it was just a weird shape. Like a point, it was just such a weird shape. You couldn't go out with it.
Crazy feature.
And then now the problem with that, you bend like this to pick your child.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, but I gave that cup to someone else. And it worked wonders for them. But for me, who I had excess, wouldn't. Because if I do like this, one let down,
that makes sense.
So I could say, for me, the Medela Mamizi breast pads, the hacker for sure. If any mom was to, even if you don't get a pump, that's the one thing I'd say.
Actually, I actually say you get a hacker. Because even for me, like, I think now with the second, I I had some nipple pain, but I think I was already like accustomed, like to doing, like I knew better, so I'd still just breastfeed. But now I think because I already had gone through my first experience, because I also used to like store milk. I think this one I was so prepared, like I knew what, like I had everything figured out. So even I used to use the haka more, like especially like during letdowns, because one, the haka is not painful. It's actually not painful.
They actually say, I think there's a time I was reading that it's actually good, like if you have just engorgement, that because it puts a bit of pressure.
A suction, it has a suction.
Yeah, the suction has, so it just helps nani the
stress you. That's interesting.
I think for me also another product that worked was nipple cream.
Yes. Which brand?
Laniso.
Hiyo jina inanishindanga. I don't know. Did it work for me? I think
it worked. Yes. And then the advantage of the Laniso is that a lot goes a long way. Like you don't need to put a lot. Like you can
a little
goes a long way. You don't have to put a lot. And also like again, breast pumps, like if you have a good breast pump, like it works wonders for you. Because I had the advantage of being gifted one. Like, you know, those passed me downs to people. So when I was passed down a very good breast pump, I think it
helped.
It really, really helped. Yeah.
I think also for me, Laniso was... So here's the thing. So I gave birth in Northside Hospital. And I think it's most hospitals, if not all hospitals in the US do this. They give you a free pump. So with Northside Hospital, they gave me a free breast pump.
Which one? Which brand?
It was Laniso.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I know. So when I came... So me, when you guys are talking about... But you know, you'd be paying bills until...
Okay, yeah, that's true.
That's how they get you.
Oh, no, but me, I'm not having another child. Thank you.
That's what you say now.
Yeah.
But 2 years from now...
You get your second bonds.
It's okay. We'll just wait for one of your birthdays. One of your birthdays. You on my birthday celebration. We'll just wait. We're patient.
No.
November is coming.
Another day because
really SMH.
Toddlers are toddlering. I can't picture a newborn. Yeah, the products that worked for me was the Laniso breast pump and the 2 bags. I used everything Laniso, I'm not gonna lie. I was gifted Medela as well. But when I tried the Laniso, because it was small. So the Medela, is it Medela? Right? The one I was given was a very big thing.
The big one.
So I felt like I was stuck to a wall.
It's true.
But when I started using the Laniso, I was like, okay, I can move around with ease. So I opted for that one. And then there's one, I forgot the brand, but this one was my own personal investment. Aki, it cost me so much money. But what was the name of it? It starts with an E. But it's a
Evanto.
No, Evento.
Evie.
That's the one.
It's those portable.
Exactly.
Portable breast pumps
that you charge. You can literally put it in your nursing bra or whatever, and you walk around. It pumps. It looks a little weird. I don't know how you go out with this, but for working moms, I would honestly highly recommend it because it's like you don't walk around with a bag. You don't have those things. You don't have to go to a bathroom to pump.
I've seen nowadays there are also some like that, but now locally that are actually affordable.
I would honestly...
Okay, I don't know
if they're painful or not. Maybe
I don't know if they're painful or not, but
used any of them, they can like...
please let us know.
Okay, I've seen influencers who've reviewed it, but I don't know.
Is it the same? It's a different...
It's the same brand. Concept, but a different brand. Yeah.
Because the brand I use, it was gentle on you. Like it has, like as any pump, it goes with levels.
Do you still have it?
I do have it. You can try it.
Because I'm still...
you're still pumping.
I'm still pumping. Even I have one engorged breast right now.
Sorry. Tumaliza tuende. In other words.
Pump.
But if you're a working mommy, I would highly recommend it. Ka utaki kwenda kujificha kwa choo, you can just literally put that in your business outfit or whatever, and you continue with your business.
But guys in here,
no.
Oh, it's quiet.
It's quiet. And then when you want to remove it, you just charge it. It's quiet, you plug it, and then the bottle is big enough for you to feel, okay, in a jar, I can remove it and then pour it and then try it again. I would highly recommend it. It costs a lot. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I said it's an investment, but it's really, that's the one thing that helped me mentally. Like being able to go to a grocery store and have that. It looked weird, but whatever. I didn't care. I needed something.
It's flat. The collector.
It's like a bottle. How do I explain it? I wish I had it with me.
Okay.
But you can't really see it. Like, you really can't. Like, yes, your boobs itaka funny because you have two things that are not. Itaka funny, but you can make it conspicuous with how you dress. Like, it's not a big deal necessarily. But me, that's the one thing. Nikisema ika unataka kupata investment for your money, like value for your money, that's the one. And then the bottles that I use that help my kids with colic, because one of my kids with colic was Dr. Brown's, because it had the vein. So that really helped. It's funny because one child preferred the Dr. Brown's, and then one child wanted the Nook. Is it Nook? Nook. So there's certain, thank God for certain things that we have now that help me and other moms, I'm sure, be sane.
So what's like one thing you would tell a mom or a mom to be about breastfeeding? Like just one very
advice.
Just one very random thing. Like one thing. For me, I would say, I think even from hearing you guys' stories, is that breastfeeding is a journey.
Yes.
Yeah,
it comes easy for some, it comes harder for some.
Yeah.
What about you?
And for you? For me, I'd say lean into the moment. Because when you're tired, when you're sleepy, if you're married or in a relationship, or I'm guessing, let me say married because I'm married. When your spouse is at your end and you're just like, this guy is sleeping and not helping or whatever. Those moments where you're breastfeeding and maybe your child will reach out and hold your hand if you're breastfeeding, or if you're bottle feeding, because they'll still do the same thing. Leaning into those moments make those hours seem shorter. So I'd say lean into the moment, and as frustrated as you feel or are, that moment can bring you some joy. And burping, I didn't like burping, so good luck on that journey.
I also didn't like burping.
I have a burping hack.
There we go.
That's my turn.
You want to tell us?
No.
For me, it would be patient. Just be patient with your body. You just gave birth. Be patient with the production of your milk if you're trying to breastfeed. Just be patient, because that would help you learn your own body as a new mom. It would help you in the process of learning this child that is yours. And it would maybe being patient would also help you show grace to your partner as well. So I would definitely say be patient. It takes time to figure things out if you're a first-time mom, but you eventually get the groove of things. Just be patient.
We hope that you really enjoyed this sharing. We're thinking of probably coming up with, an inventory or something of hacks for mummies. If you're interested, let us know.
Yes.
And some of the products that we mentioned can easily be found at Peekaboo, and we'll share a link to
our discount code.
Bye.
Enjoy.
Bye. Peace.
So much grace. So much grace. So much grace. So much grace.